Imagine a machine so advanced that it seems to rewrite the rules of energy itself. A bus that drinks no fuel, burns no oil, inhales no electricity, yet moves. Today, you're about to witness something few people on Earth have seen with their own eyes. This isn't a rumor, not a tweet, not a blurry clip passed around online. This is a world-exclusive look inside a technology that many say should not exist, and others insist is being suppressed. The story begins with a man who has spent years fighting disbelief, Maxwell Chikumbutso. For years, whispers circulated online about an African inventor claiming he had built machines that defy physics cars, generators, and now an entire bus that runs on what he calls thin air. Critics dismissed him instantly. Engineers called it fantasy. Physicists said it was impossible. But one thing kept the legend alive: the fact that Maxwell never backed down. He insisted his invention worked. He insisted he had proof, and he insisted that one day the world would see it. That day, according to him, had arrived. When our team received the invitation to visit his workshop, the message was short and cryptic. If you want the truth, come see it. No coordinates, no details, just a request to meet at an industrial park far outside the city. What we found there didn't just raise questions. It challenged everything we thought we knew about energy. The bus was massive, painted in a faded industrial green, with cables running under its frame like veins. There was no fuel tank, no exhaust pipe, no battery compartment large enough to power something this size. Maxwell stood beside it, silent, almost daring us to ask the first question. We expected a demonstration, but what we got first was a story. Before he would show anything, Maxwell insisted we understand the battle he had faced for years. He spoke not like a scientist defending research, but like a man defending his life's purpose. He described being shut out of academic institutions because he lacked traditional engineering qualifications. He recalled investors who backed out after receiving warnings. He remembered tech-ex who refused to test his machines yet confidently labeled him a fraud. And yet the machines kept appearing. He built a generator that supposedly created more power than it consumed. A drone that never needed recharging, a car powered by radio frequencies, and now a passenger bus capable of running entirely without fossil fuel. Maxwell insisted these weren't miracles. They were engineering the world wasn't ready to accept. But the more he talked, the more one question grew louder. If he truly built all this, where was the proof? He noticed the doubt in our faces. He was used to it. With a small smile, he stepped aside and placed his hand on the side of the green bus. "You came for a demonstration," he said. "Let's begin." What we didn't know was that the demonstration would raise more questions than answers. The interior of the bus looked almost ordinary: rows of seats, handrails, a driver's cabin. But under the floor, behind a metal panel, lay the heart of Maxwell's invention. A compact box-shaped device wired into the drivetrain. He called it the MSED, Microsonic Energy Device. It didn't look like an engine. It didn't look like a battery. It looked more like rugged military hardware, sealed tight and humming with a faint vibration. Maxwell explained that the device converts radio frequencies from the environment into usable energy. How? He refused to say. He had given this explanation before, and engineers worldwide dismissed it immediately. RF energy simply isn't strong enough to move a vehicle, let alone a full-size passenger bus. Maxwell only nodded at that criticism. "They are measuring what they know," he said, "not what they don't." Before we could push further, he motioned for the driver to enter the cabin. There was no key, no ignition, just a panel with a single switch and a digital screen showing the system's status. "Energy harvest active." The driver flipped the switch. The bus hummed. The vibration deepened. The digital readout shifted to ready, no smoke, no engine growl, no movement yet. Just a strange, cold quiet, the kind that feels like the moment before lightning strikes. What happened next was either the birth of a revolution or the world's most convincing illusion. The driver released the brakes. Slowly, almost hesitantly, the massive bus began to roll forward. No engine noise, no electrical whine, just movement. It picked up speed as it circled the yard, gliding smoothly along the concrete. Maxwell didn't look at the bus, he looked at us, watching our reaction closely, almost studying it. The bus completed one loop, then another. Then another. We looked for hidden cables, we looked for battery packs. We looked for anything that could explain what we were seeing. If this was a trick, it was a remarkably elaborate one. The bus finally stopped beside us. The driver stepped out, calm as if he hadn't just participated in a demonstration that challenged fundamental laws of energy. Maxwell asked a simple question. You saw it, so what do you think? The truth is, we didn't know what to think. Some on our team believed they had witnessed the beginning of a new energy age. Others argued it could still be staged, perhaps a concealed battery, a modified system, or something we failed to detect. Maxwell didn't push us to believe. He only said, "You came for evidence, you have it. Whether you accept it is up to you," but he wasn't done. He had one more reveal, something he claimed would remove any doubt. That final reveal would turn the story from controversial to explosive. Maxwell walked us to a second chamber behind the workshop. This room was colder, quieter, filled with equipment that looked both futuristic and improvised. At the center stood a workstation displaying data graphs, power readings, and internal diagnostics of the MSED unit. He pointed to a live reading, energy output far exceeding input. If accurate, it broke one of the most fundamental rules of physics, conservation of energy. We asked for an explanation. He only said, "The formulas they teach do not describe everything that exists." It wasn't arrogance, it was conviction. Maxwell then revealed that several governments had approached him, some with offers, some with threats. He claimed his workshop had been raided before. He claimed he had been warned to stop. We cannot confirm any of those claims. But we can confirm this. The bus moved. And if everything in this room was real, then the world might be witnessing the first step toward an energy revolution, or the peak of a very convincing mystery. What we witnessed today left us with equal parts wonder and doubt. If Maxwell Chikumbutso's technology is real, humanity stands on the edge of a breakthrough that could reshape transportation, energy, and the future itself. If it isn't, then this is one of the most intriguing technological mysteries of our time. Either way, the story doesn't end here. There are more tests to run, more experts to consult, and more truths to uncover. And as always, we'll take you with us every step of the way.